Figure it out.
Hello, this is Adam Koralik with Figure It Out Productions. The following video is part of our Quick Shoot series.
Hey guys, recently I picked up a free N64 from my cousin that came with these two controllers. And I was looking them over, and they're pretty dirty. And so I thought, well, like usually, like right inside where the plastic meets up, they're pretty gross. And just in general, it looks just kind of dusty and not awesome. And so I decided today I want to clean these up, and I thought that would make a pretty good video. Now, if you have dirty controllers like this will help you out, but you may also have controllers with like sticky buttons and stuff, because maybe when you were a kid you had some douchebag friend pour soda in them and get them all sticky, and he was like, "Yeah, I did you a favor, now it's really useless." Or maybe you made that mistake yourself. Either way, the same process I will show you in this video will clean that up, and your controller will be practically brand new again. So what you're going to want to do when you have your controller, flip it over. You'll see 7 main screws, 3 on each side here, and then 1 down at the bottom. And then there's 2 inside there, so we're making for a total of 9 screws here. Now you're going to need a Phillips screwdriver. I would go with a smaller one, particularly because of the 2 screws in there. Make sure your screwdriver is magnetized, specifically for these 2, because those are kind of difficult to get back in without a magnetized screwdriver. So I'm just going to go ahead and remove all the screws, and then I'll show you the next phase. Okay, so once you've taken all the screws out, you'll be, like I said, left with 7 of all the same size, and then 2 of these smaller ones. Again, those go inside the rumble pack area. So once you've done that, the easiest way to take this apart is just to take the back piece off here. So you just go ahead and lift. And it's possible the little shoulder pieces will pop out, but don't worry about that. That's totally okay. So this is the inside, at least the back of it, and it has the Z button. You can take it off just like that if you want to. Yeah, like that. Not a big deal. So we get down to this. Now, what we're going to want to do is wash the plastic, so we have to get all the electronic parts out. Now, there's 3 more screws right there. Actually, no, there's 4, sorry. There's a little black one in there, too. So you just go ahead and unscrew those, and I'll just do that very quickly here. Okay, so I got the 3 little silver-looking screws out. You actually don't need to remove that black one. So at that point, what you're going to do is unwind the controller from back there like that, and then just kind of push back on this so that the board comes up. And there you go, it just pops right out like that. There you go, that's the brain of an N64 controller. If you want to clean this part too, like really intensely, that's when you'd remove this, but I'm not going to do that because there's really no reason to. So then we're left with just the body here. Behind those little rubber things are our buttons. So we're going to take this off, and our D-pad will just pop right out. Take the rubber part off this one, and then the start button, pop right out, and then over here, that comes out, and the buttons just fall out. Now don't worry about trying to figure out which one goes where. They are molded so that they can only go in one possible place, so it's not going to be that hard to put it back together. But really, I'm only taking this part apart to clean the edges and stuff. Now, if you really want to get serious, you can go ahead and clean all these buttons. Like if there's soda stuck on them and they're just they're just sticky, you have to clean these. Same with the shoulder buttons and everything. For my purposes, I'm only going to clean the body here, but if you want to get really serious, that's what you can do. So, of course, once you've done all that, let it dry. Seriously, do not put it back together until it is 100% dry. Okay, so I went ahead and rinsed them all down, and obviously they're still wet, but there's no dirt and stuff stuck in them anymore, so that's a big plus. So now all I have to do is go ahead and wait for them to dry, and then I'll put it back together. So once your plastic is dry, you're going to want to go ahead and put your buttons back in. Now these buttons all have little indents on them like that. You can see they're like slightly different shapes. That way they can only go in one possible place. So it's really, really easy to just go ahead and line all these up to go right into where they belong. So we go ahead and put in the C buttons first, but you could do whatever you want. Then we'll take the B button, pop that in, and the A button, and pop that in. Then we grab its little this little rubber thing, and then put that on in the right direction. Also very easy, because it can really only go on one way. Then you kind of repeat this process with the start button and the D-pad, and then we'll move on. Okay, that's what it'll look like after you finish that part. Then what you're going to want to do is put on your bumpers. So here we have the right bumper. So if you were to hold this, this would actually go over here, and the easiest way to tell, of course, is because this longer part on the bottom does not exist there on the top, and it just goes in nicely right there. And the same goes for the left one, which goes on right there. Now, what you're also going to want to do, of course, is take your back piece here and your Z button, and you're just going to pop that on like that, so it just flips in. Very nice, very easy. And then next, what you're going to do is grab the board here, and what you're going to want to do is have the joystick part facing down towards that hole, obviously, and then it just goes on relatively easily. And then what you do is you take your cable that's all wound up here, and you have to, the buttons might pop out, but that's really not that big of a deal. And then you just kind of wind that back up there, and use that little plastic bar right there to help it wind, just so long as it ends up, you know, looking relatively like this, you'll be okay. And I'm going to go ahead and put this right back on there. So next, what I'm going to want to do is take those little silver screws and put them back right there. Okay, so I went ahead and put these 3 screws on. Make sure there's nothing blocking any of these red plastic, well in this case it's red, but any of these plastic pieces, because that's where the screws are going to go in. This cable could, you know, come undone between those 2 little plastic bars there and cover that. That would be bad. Sometimes these things pop out, the rubber part, you got to make sure you put them in, make sure they're nice. But once that's all set and it's ready to go, you take it like this, and you take the back part here, and then you just kind of slide it on over. I think putting it over the cartridge area is kind of the easiest way to line up your shot. And there you go. It you know, holds together relatively well. Obviously I had to put screws in it first, but you know, it's got the basic shape. So now I'm just going to go ahead and put in these 7 outer screws as well as the 2 little ones in there. Now again, make sure you have a little screwdriver and preferably a magnetized one, because that'll make it a lot easier to put that back. So I'm all done. It's all nice and clean. I did all the edges. Also, you may want to go in this part with a Q-tip and some Windex and just kind of get dust and stuff out of there. It's a little bit easier than taking it apart, and it should do the job just fine. If it's actually got like soda and stuff in there, then you may actually want to open that up. But yeah, if you don't need to, don't. I also cleaned up this one as well. Cleaned up nicely. It had some scuffs on it too, and for that I used Mr. Clean's Magic Eraser. Just get those out, but now they look brand new again, which is great. So there you go, guys. I just hope that helps anybody out there clean an N64 controller if they need to.